Hi there. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Smith Runtime locally to run an agent. So the first step you would need to do is to clone the repository. And then you should have a structure like this, where you have the agents and the binary folder. The binary folder contains three executables, each for a target operating system. So depending on the operating system you're running on, you're gonna run the suitable. So in my case, I'm running in a Linux environment, so I'm gonna run the first one here. The second step you need to do is to create an agent to run. So in my case here, I have an agent with 3 endpoints I created, and we're gonna go through them one by one. Third step, you need to export your agent, and in order to do so, you'd need to click Ctrl-Shift-E. After that, you need to save it in the agents folder, which comes with the directory of the repository. So here I will name it local agent, and then I will open the terminal. And let's see now the help command in order to see the arguments we need to pass. So it tells you here that you need to pass the agent argument, which is the path to the agent file, the endpoint name, the method either post or get with the params you need to pass, and the vault path. So I want to call the first endpoint here, which is the to-do, which basically calls a JSON placeholder, a REST API to create a to-do. So it doesn't require any vault key or something, so it should work out of the box. I prepared this command to run. So basically here we specify that the agent, and then I specify the agent name with .smith trailing, and then the vault path. Here I didn't create a vault. Your repository already comes with an example vault, so you can use it for now until we need to create our own vault to provide custom keys. Then my endpoint is a post method. So I'm going to put here post. If it's gonna be get, then you're gonna call get on it. Then you're gonna pass all of the params you need here. So in my case, I only need one param, which is that to do. Finally, you need to specify the endpoint name, and in my case, it's called to do, as specified here. So now let's try to run it. And as you can see, this is the JSON placeholder result. And as you can see, it's a successful one, and that's good. This is the first example. The second example, we will see how can we run an LLM. So we have, for example, cloud, and we have GPT models. In my case, if I want to use a GPT model, I will need to provide an OpenAI API key. So to do so, we will need to create a vault file and then put the OpenAPI key in it. So here, I'm gonna first copy the vault.json example to a file called vault.json. Then I'm going to edit this file and provide basically the OpenAI API key. So I will fill this key, save the file, and then see afterwards. So now after adding the key, we will call the second endpoint. The second endpoint is called ask, and so we will use this command. Basically here the endpoint is ask, and we're passing the question param which is needed, and the new vault.json we have created, and the same agent path. Let's try. and we should see that the answer is Paris. Now moving on to the last example we have as an API endpoint here, we will be creating a Trello card, and so basically we need to pass some secret keys from the vault in order to access Trello. So in Smith Agent Builder, basically you would just add the vault here, the vault keys here, and then use it. Now, since you're using the execution or you're doing the execution locally, then you're going to need to add these keys to your vault.json. So basically here, we're going to access the vault and add the new keys. So here I will access the vault, and then I will add the two key entries here. So you would come here, you would copy the keys, place them here, and add your value. And the second key we need is Trello token. So I'm gonna copy it and go there and put it also. So specify the keys, and then I'm going to save the vault with the correct keys and run the endpoint. Now we are going to call the endpoint. So the endpoint here is called create card. So I'm going to get the last command here and add the new endpoint name, and it needs a name param. So here it creates a Trello card, so I'll just say card 1, and let's try. This is the response, and I can see that the response have no error, and that means that Trello API accepted this request, so the API keys were successfully handled. So that's all for the endpoints. Now there are some limitations still with Smith Runtime. One of them is that we cannot currently run any of the data components like data lookup, data source indexer, and source cleaner. And also you cannot run a custom LLM. So if you were using these features in the agent builder, they will not currently work in the current release. So check the latest release patch notes and see if this is currently fixed. Thank you.